Today we're working on the map sensor for the 2012 Range Rover HSE. This map sensor is also the same, pretty much. Dang, these flies are terrible. Is the same for like an LR4 or a Sport with a 5.0, naturally aspirated. I'm not sure about the supercharged and how those ones work. So I got the gap tool in, and I'm going to try and do a recording of the reading. I've got a picture of what it's doing, but the reading should give you an actual readout, so that way we can actually look and see what's causing the code or what's causing the issue. And I know what it is, but I'm going to show it to you guys in a minute. So if I can get the recording to record and actually be able to post it. So we'll see about that. If not, I'll talk about it. But anyways, to start off this update, so I got 2 new air filters. I believe these are the right ones. That's what Amazon and eBay said, so I ordered those. And those are just generic, regular air filters, not performance air filters or anything. So we're going to swap those out because I'm not sure when he said the last time he had done those. And I also got oil filters. I got a 3-pack. And I'm going to do an oil change as well, most likely this weekend. Because I got about 400 miles to go, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it while I'm doing all this other stuff. And I've got a spare tire carrier, or a trash bag, that came in as well that we're going to mock up on the spare tire carrier. But that's going to be a down the road endeavor. So without further ado, let's get into the map sensor. And then while we're in there, we'll do the air filter replacement, and we'll also do a MAF sensor cleaning. So that way you guys can see like the whole ordeal. So we're going to try and clear that code and make sure everything's good to go for the future. So here we go. All right, it's a couple days later since the first video that I took, but I do have the map sensor in, so we're going to try and replace that today. And of course I chose the absolute worst day. It's literally monsooning out and windy and cold to change out the map sensor, but it's a quick job, like a really quick job. And I really just want to get it done because I'm hoping to actually drive this tonight, because we got a trailer hooked up to the wife's truck. And the Discovery, when it's raining like this, leaks like an absolute sieve. Just water everywhere. So let's try and get this done. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the code, and I'm going to bring up the information on the map sensor on the gap tool. I'm saying a lot. On the gap tool, I'm going to show you guys that. So we'll see if we can get a reading and show you guys the reading while the truck is running. All right, so now we just threw a bunch of codes. So let's look at this really quick. Let's see. Menu, show warnings. We've got a suspension fault, adaptive dynamics fault, and that's it. So I don't know where those came from. We're gonna read those too. All right, so I got the values for it. You can see on the voltage chart that it stays at 3.6 volts, and it's supposed to fluctuate with acceleration. So at idle, it sits at 3.6 and it doesn't move. So I've got the new one right here, actually. So we're gonna go ahead and swap that out really quick. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to show those values or not, but at least I've got a picture of them. So let's go ahead and do that real quick in the pouring rain. All right, so this is extremely simple. So we're gonna pop the hose clamp here, the hose clamp here, and then the hose clamp on the throttle body down here. And then there's an air line or vacuum line that runs here, that after we get all these unbolted and popped free, we're gonna disconnect that. So let's go ahead and unbolt those. So we're just gonna unscrew it, just a flathead screwdriver, don't need to take the whole hose clamp off. And just enough to pop this off of the air box, like so. I'm just gonna lift that and get that out of the way. And now we're gonna do the other side. Pop that off just like that, and I set it up here. And then now we're gonna go in here. And this is little, if you look at the engine, it's right behind these 2 little boxes. And you can see the flathead. We're just gonna untighten that. Just a couple turns. So to disconnect this hose, I already disconnected it. But all you're gonna do is just squeeze the tabs on the left and the right side, and then it pops out from this hose here. And I'll get a better shot of that once I get it out, because it's really dark. And then this, you just wiggle off the throttle body, and then boom, you're done. You can get this out of the way. So we're gonna set this over there so it stays dry. And then now you're at your map sensor. This is that hose And like I said, you just take this and you squeeze it left to right, and then it locks on the top and bottom. Don't break that. All right, so now we're looking at our throttle body, and this is our front side, this is the back side. If you look at the back side, that's our map sensor right there. So you have a torque head bolt here and this clip. So all we're gonna do is push down or pull up, there we go. So pull up on that tab right there. And this is what our sensor looks like. Can't really tell it's bad. It's got some pieces of O-ring frayed off, but it's really not really indication that it's like a bad sensor. So essentially what happens though is pressure builds up inside that hole and moves something right here that sends the electrical signal. So simple as that. Let's get our new one out and make sure that this one is the same before we get too far. Somebody is barking at me. All right. Unboxing of a new sensor. Right, looks about the same. Looks like it's got a bigger O-ring on it. So this is our new sensor. This is a non-OEM one. So we're gonna see how it flies, and we'll call it a day. And if it doesn't work, then we'll get an OEM one. So I'm not gonna plug it in yet because I want to be able to kind of wiggle this in. And let me show you guys up close. So this is where it sits. Make sure that's all nice and clean. You don't want any of that stuff getting in the motor. I did this the other day before I pulled it out. So this just goes in here. This brass ring lines up with where your threaded hole is, and then this one goes where the sensor runs. So we're gonna try and squeeze that in real quick. So this went from 0 to 100 really fast. Oh, that's infuriating. So pretty much what happened was I was installing this, the new one. See, this is the old one. And I was putting in the new one, and the whole end broke off. See where that O-ring goes on? And that whole end broke off, which is fine because I could just get another one. But after waiting for a week to get this in anyways, now I'm a week further out from being able to get this running. But when it did that, it fell in through the hole and fell into the intake manifold. I pulled off the throttle body and it's not there, which means it's probably somewhere back over here. So now I've got to take that off.